Alright people, welcome back to SouFLoTV again. It's your host with the most. If you've never been here before, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Click the bell next to the subscribe button so you are notified every time a new video goes up on SouFLoTV. This headline says, another cult victim tells all. A cult victim tells all. Montego Bay, St. James. It says that for an entire month in March of last year, 70 congregants of Pathway International Kingdom Restoration Ministries who were told to pay $100,000 each for entry into Kevin Smith's ark slept on concrete floors and barely had enough to eat. That first boarding of the ark ended badly, but without the loss of life seen during this previous event where they had bloodshed. Now, yesterday a victim of Sunday's ritual who had boarded the ark on both occasions painted a picture of an organization that is heavily focused on feathering or fattening the nest of its leaders and followers who often blindly complied with everything that the shepherds wished. In an exclusive interview with the Jamaica Observer, shout out to Jamaica Observer, the victim, who asked not to be identified by name, said that Smith first called for them to board the ark came just a week after Jamaica confirmed its first COVID-19 case. He told us to take out loans and to bring them to him to buy food because the Lord spoke to him and told him that something is coming. That was the novel coronavirus pandemic that was coming. He knew about it. I don't know how, but he knew about it before it came here, is what the man told the Observer. And in his tone, my SouFLoTV audience, you can hear the desperation. You can hear the brainwashing, the believing that he actually knew all this before everybody else did. Education is a hell of a thing. Staying abreast with with world events that are taking place right now is very important. He then called the ark on March 17th. He said that we should all get into the ark because a lot of things are going to happen and the coronavirus is going to kill a lot of people. And we believed him, the young man added. You must remember, this man is preying on these people's fear because, as we all recall, when this whole corona thing first broke, people were frightened. We didn't know exactly how it was spread. First, we were told people were just dropping like flies and you might be one of them that's next. So we need to social distance and hide inside and stay away from people and only go around your close family members. People in places were not even allowed to go visit their dying or their elderly or ailing family members because they were convinced that if they did, they might possibly get grandma sick, because grandma already had diabetes or other heart condition or other underlying conditions. Remember? Okay, so he preyed on that fear of them not knowing. And then further on down the line, we were told that masks were mandatory because it was airborne. Well, they're claiming that he knew all this before it took place. And when Jamaica finally published in one of these news medias that Jamaica has now had its first case of the novel virus, that set everybody into a panic. But it made him look even more powerful because it was something he spoke about before they actually got wind that it was happening. Remember, this is a well-traveled man. He had been to many places before outside of Jamaica. He explained that the ark was the name Smith gave to the physical building of the organization, now being labeled a cult. It was stocked with supplies paid for with loans that were taken out by the congregants. Now, while the standard entry fee was $100,000, he and other members who had been experiencing financial difficulty were given a bly. But they weren't let in for free. Nobody was let in for free. And if you watch the video where he is sitting in the police station after his arrest, where he said, if you march in this, you have to pay. Everything about this, you have to pay. So he was very much about payment. I didn't have $100,000, this person said, so I ended up paying $20,000. But everybody else, he told them that they should bring in the $100,000. I don't know why him get special treatment and only paid 20. Maybe he was one of the late ones. Maybe he was one of the ones who, scraping the bottom like, hey, let's just get what we can at this point. Because we already have 70 people who already paid the full 100,000. If you're good at mathematics, you can sum up how much money that was in a one go. A lady had to pay $300,000 for her 2 daughters, and her granddaughter. But a lot of people did pay the $100,000 to come stay there, is what the man said. He said it was a grueling 4 weeks at the premises in Albion, St. James. 4 weeks. While we were there, we were treated badly by people that he had as the missionaries and ministers. That line right there lets me know that people were coming and visiting as missionaries and ministers, and these people were actually seeing how these people were being treated inside the quote-unquote ark, and none of them were raising an alarm. We were getting 2 dumplings with mackerel gravy for dinner. He had us sleeping on the ground, and they were cooking like 3 tins of mackerel for about 70 people. Obviously, that's not enough to feed 70 people, but I guess it was like Jesus turning water into wine and the bread suddenly multiplied enough to feed a multitude. Him did a stretch the mackerel, probably with some ketchup, if I did tin mackerel. He would make them give us ton corn meal for eat. Some days we got porridge to eat in the morning and soup to drink in the night. And those are appetizers, so we did that dead for hungry, is what the person said. In addition to the steep entry fees to get into the ark, they were also forced to pay utility bills, the young woman said. Now, you gotta remember, everybody was looking for someplace safe to run when this whole pandemic thing broke out. And here you have a religious leader who had now been trusted by a majority of these people, fully trusted. Some were to the point of worshiping him. And he's telling them that, come, I have a safe place. You see it on the news now. It's real. It's happening. And they ran to him, emptied their bank accounts, took out loans, paid to him to be safe in the ark. He said that we have to pay for the internet because we have to call with family abroad. And we have to pay for light and water. I think it was like some ridiculous figure. He said the water bill came up to $200,000 and that the light bill came up to this and that. So every family had to pay additional monies on top of the $100,000 that they paid as entry fee just to get into the ark. He said that after a month at the premises and no signs of condition improving, the former member was made aware of the events and raised an alarm on social media. And this forced the leaders to allow them to exit the ark because too much noise was being made now about it. And I guess they feared that law enforcement would be drawing in at any time now. So it's time to let them go out of the ark. But we're going to do this again at another time, was the plan, which is what we saw happen again. It came to a point where a lady overseas who used to come to the church started to talk about it. She posted on Facebook saying that it is not right, and how can he have people sleeping on the ground while he is locked up in his office under AC? He was eating big food while we were eating scraps like we were dogs. Commotion was over there on a daily basis. Madness, because people were not used to getting this little bit of food. Now, I have to laugh because these people weren't concerned about their safety. They were more concerned about the little bit of food they were getting, but they still believed that they were safe from the pandemic inside the ark. They were the chosen ones. They have met the one that came to save. He even changed the menu and we got broth in the evening. But that didn't really have much substance to help you to go through the day, so we were always hungry. With empty stomachs growling, congregants were forced to sleep on cold slabs of concrete as the building was actually still under construction. Now, when the lady started to talk about something that then he told us that we are going to go home. So is when the lady on social media started to talk about what was going on there, is when he said, okay, listen, too much eyes on us. So let them go. We can't take this. We can't do this. Police might be coming. We're being exposed. That kind of thing. I'm going to say this again. I refuse to believe that these people know nothing about any other murders or any kidnapping or any unlawful or illicit activities that went on there. These are the same kind of people, if you ask them for $10 towards a charity event, that you can actually prove to them that, listen, I take this money, I bring it over here, I take care of this child or who badly needs it, or this family, or set up this fund that will benefit us all. They would tell you that no, because you're a scammer. But they blindly, willingly followed this man to the point where they went and took out loans. Now I'm asking myself, is it that easy to get a loan in Jamaica? Because it's not that easy to get a loan in the United States. So I'm comparing all these people who didn't have money saved up were able to take out loans and get these money. Think in particular of the woman who paid $300,000 to get in. So you wonder why this man has multiple mansions, and you wonder why he lived lavishly. He was able to afford all these things by all the money these people were being tricked out of. And the same people saw all these things. They knew of his mansion. They knew of his riches. But they firmly believed that he was blessed and that this had nothing to do with their money. Oh man, it's hard to swallow this pill, seeing that this is happening today in the age of information. So many people are still misinformed. You will Google everything, but you won't Google the things that really matter. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. But $100,000 to go sleep on concrete and eat mackerel and dumpling for 1 whole month, and you're not even getting a whole heap of dumpling. It's not like he's giving you 6 spinners. 6 of them big cartwheel there. The man said 2 dumplings and gravy from the mackerel. Not even the mackerel, because that little bit of mackerel could not feed that many people. So you got a splash of the gravy on your dumplings. People, wake up. Stop the madness. These people wanted to be in this position. And for the rest of them, this is the power of indoctrination. Religious indoctrination. Especially when it is done by someone who has these kind of motives. I'm looking for the right word to say. Like psychosis, madness, a madman leading a mass of people. What does that say about the people? Even more than it says about him. And I'm not chastising the victims. I'm just saying, who could not have seen this from a mile away? Watching his birthday procession in Montego Bay, how many people came out dressed in their best, limousines back to back and luxury cars. And the festivities, the beating of the drum and the chanting and the happiness, the vibe. For a person like this, he was that powerful. Now I must say, the video I've seen of him in the police station kind of lets me think that he is setting up the plot to plead insanity. But I will show you that video and then I will talk more about that on the next video after this one. Leave your comments in the comment section below. And I'll catch you on the next video with SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.